Now at the time of recording this video guys, the EA servers are actually down, but I have an absolutely cracked formation that is, I think, going to be taking over the meta sometime soon. I'm seeing a lot more people using it and it is incredible. But yeah, the servers are down, so I can't do this video how I'd usually do it, which is a shame, but the optimist in me hopes that maybe EA are actually trying to fix this absolute trash pile of a game. But the pessimist in me, we haven't had a maintenance update this long in forever. I think it's going to be around 14 hours or something. Yeah, that just indicates to me that there's a problem with purchasing or something with the store, because EA never put this much effort into anything unless it's costing them money. But like I said guys, with this unexpected maintenance to the server, I can't do this video how I usually would, but where there's a will, there is a way. And I'm talking about this, the companion app, man. Oh, a thing sent from the gods, one of the only things EA have ever gotten right. You sat there with your wife at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night, the kids are in bed, and you just, you're having to listen to her talk about her nails or things that one of her friends has said or boyfriend issues that her friends have got. You don't want to listen to that, man, so you can just get on your phone, crack on the companion app, pop out some SBCs, and just have a little me time. But anyway guys, the formation in question is actually the 4-2-3-1 wide, or the 4-2-3-1-2, second variation, depending on your outlook on life. But like I said in the intro, this formation seems to be making a big comeback. I'm seeing a lot of people using it, a lot of pros seem to be using it, and for good reason. I've been playing with it for the last couple of days, and I've just been smashing out wins. Like, it's a really good balanced formation, and amazing at just keeping control of the ball, especially with these tactics that I'm about to show you. So for the build-up style today guys, we're actually going to run this one on counter, and if you see my last couple of videos, you'll know what I'm talking about. But the meta at the moment is very much waiting in a deep lying block, trying to sort of hold back until your opponent makes a mistake, and then when they do, bombing forward and just capitalizing on that mistake. So counter is going to be what I run on a lot of formations. If you've seen my 4-2-3-1 videos in the past, I've always enjoyed this formation, but I've usually gone for short passing or balance because I like to keep control with it. But I've found since the patch and the 95 depth nerf, you've got a lot more time on the ball, and using this counter approach when you get the ball back, the players are just in such good positions, they get there quicker, and you just have much more opportunities to score those goals. And now for the defensive approach guys, we're going to go for a line height of 70, high defensive approach. This is what I'm going to run on most of the formations, man. It does seem to be the meta right now. What I would say is obviously aggressive 95 is still an option, so if you are losing a game sort of 2-0, you could switch it up and go a lot more front-footed and go attacking. It's just going to strain your stamina, so maybe make some substitutes beforehand. And when I've done this formation in the past, I have said that you could switch to balanced as well, depending on your play style. That is still the case. This is still very much a balanced formation, but I'd say if you switch to balanced, I would also probably switch your build-up style to balanced as well, just because I think you're a little bit too deep to then get that quick counter attack going. Now moving on to the player roles guys, I don't know what this is going to look like on your screens when I actually come to edit this, so I apologise in advance, but your goalkeeper is on personal preference, both your fullbacks are on fullback and defend, both your centre backs are on defender, defend. One of your holding midfielders is on holding and defend, with the other being on deep line playmaker and build up. Both your wingers are on inside forward and balanced. Your cam is on playmaker and balanced. And your striker, as always, is on advanced forward attack. So as always with these videos guys, now I'll pop into each role individually, what sort of player you need there and how it sort of works in game, and how this formation sort of is starting to take over the meta, because it's definitely got some advantages now over the 4-2-1-3, especially now that the high pressure nerf has come in. This one I can see people swaying towards a lot more. But as always, I'll try and pop in some highlights as well where I can, just so you can see what it looks like. I don't know how that'll work with me being on the companion app at the same time. We'll wait and see. Now for your goalkeeper, it's always the same thing, man. You're always going to have issues with your goalkeepers, no matter how good they are. They'll make crazy errors. It's been that way for FIFAs for generations, and there's nothing you can do about it. So just go for the best rated one in the roles you like, and just try not to get too frustrated. Now for your fullbacks in this position, obviously you're on fullback defend, and the reason we're going to do that is because you want this line of 4 to stay in a straight line as often as possible. You don't want your fullbacks bombing up the wing up here. You don't want them coming out wide too much, because that'll mean that there's always a through ball through the middle, or if they're going up, a through ball down the diagonal. And with how meta countering is at the moment, you just can't afford to give the space to the wingers. A lot of players will still be running the 4-2-1-3 because it is an incredible formation. I'm not denying that. Still possibly one of the best, if not the best formation on the game. But you want to give yourself a fighting chance. And if you've got these fullbacks bombing forward, or if you've got them too wide away from your centre half, you're just going to have balls pinged through constantly. Ball's going to go into their cam and it's always going to come out wide. And with how fast these Team of the Season cards are, these a mad amount of promos we've been having this year, you don't want anything other than fullback defend here. This is supposed to be a balanced, controlled formation. If I was running something a bit more attacking, I might have them going forward. But no, in this, you want strong, fast, preferably with bruiser if you can get it, fullbacks that you'd probably be happy to play at centre half if you needed to, but that can also play a killer pass, because they will find themselves as an outball quite often, and you will intercept so many things with this fullback. So once you made that interception, you want them to either be able to run away and make a run, or make an incisive pass through to your wingers or into your midfield. Now for your centre back, I will reiterate this in every single video until I'm probably 90 years old and no one's watching anymore, but you want them to defend. Do not move them out of defender defend, man. Both of them on defender defend. Both of them with anticipate if you can, especially with the most recent, obviously, AI defending nerf. It's best to have at least a little something that's going to help you in defence. And for a centre-back, anticipate is the way to go. So for this gameplay, I'm running Pau Kabasi and Carlos Alberto. I've actually changed this a little bit recently, but as you can see, both are absolutely pace. I think Kabasi's got 88, Carlos Alberto's got 90. Incredible defensively, good, strong physically, tall enough to win the ball in the air. But these two players, man, are just your rock. They're always going to be stood in this line of four, and they're the ones that are going to stop those through balls going through to their mad strikers, run in and make those last-ditch tackles, and they're primarily there just to block things, just completely stop your opponent from getting in behind and stop them from getting a shot off at your goalkeeper, which will probably do something useless. Now for your holding midfielders, I am a bit of a whore for constantly running the same thing on both, and that thing is usually deep line playmaker build-up. Any formation that's got two CDMs, I usually run it on both, or at least deep line playmaker defend on one. But since the patch, I've actually started to find that holding defend has got a lot better. It used to be very static, and I don't know if it's just because Kante's got the plus and he's really good in that role, but they do tend to sit a little bit deeper than they did before the patch. I used to hate holding defend as the role, but since I've been using it, this guy is everywhere. You could also switch to something like holding and roaming, which is also going to just make them cover a lot more of the pitch. But I like them to be a little bit static in front of my defence, always the block off line. So they'll sort of stand around here. If a ball comes this way, hopefully my deep line playmaker build-up will already be back. But if it comes this way, they can cover the entirety of this sort of 2/3 of the pitch, and they'll just wreck anything that comes their way. Absolutely incredible role and works really well in this formation. And then for the other one, we're running deep line playmaker build-up. And the reason I've done this is because 4-2-3-1, usually the narrow variation to be fair, but the 4-2-3-1 has been cracked for as long as I can remember. It's always been a good formation, always been solid. There's never been a FIFA that I can think, oh, I bet no one's ever ran the 4-2-3-1. But in classic FIFAs, and as long as I've used it, I've always had a box-to-box holding midfielder, so it used to be sort of either balanced or get forward, and a more defensive midfielder, which would be stay back while attacking, and on this game, hold and defend. So I've tried to recreate that. So I run Torre on deep line playmaker and build-up, and in this position, you need someone that's a really good all-rounder. Your holding defender can probably be, you know, a more holding central defensive midfielder, like someone like Patrick Vieira, this Kante card, who focus primarily on defence. But this deep line playmaker build-up needs to be able to do everything. Defend, pass, attack, dribble. You want someone like, I mean, I'll show you this card because it is insane, but this Yaya Torre Evo, 87 and then 90s across the board everywhere. That's what you're looking for. I like in this sort of formation to usually run two tall CDMs, one that's a little bit more box to box like Torre, and then like I say, someone like Vieira here. But this Kante card is just too good to drop, man. I mean, I absolutely love it. But just because you do need them to be good attacking, because they will bomb forward up here and they will make a run for either your playmaker Cam to pass to, your inside forward to create a little triangle to, or just make the run to receive the ball on the half turn and put a ball into your striker. You also need them to be good defensively, because they will do both. Once the ball breaks and you lose the ball around here, this player will come and run inwards, but this player is going to start running immediately backwards. They're not going to stay up the pitch. They want to get back in line with this holding midfielder to create that line of 6 that stop your opponent from going through. Really good role, this one. If you can get someone deep line playmaker plus, even more ideal, but the plus works just fine with a player like Torre. Now for your Cam, I'm going playmaker and balanced in this formation, and you guys have seen me before. You know that I am a shadow striker but in this formation, the playmaker just seems to work really well. With the 95 depth, and I mentioned this in the last video, there is a little bit more room for these playmaker type players. I always found that with them being static, they were always sort of pressed really quickly with the 95 depth, and shadow strikers just make a lot more diagonal runs, which make them a little bit easier to find at times. But in this formation, and with it being so well balanced, I've actually found that this playmaker finds so much space. And you want a player that's, I mean, it's personal preference, obviously all of these roles are, but I like to play small agile players, so I obviously got really lucky and packed in an icon pick, 96 Maradona, but he's pacey, he's good at shooting, but he's good at passing and dribbling as well, and obviously he's got that aura about him that just make him super good. This player on playmaker is always going to be your outball, and if you are under the cosh a little bit and you're sort of defending with this line of 6, once you get the ball from your CB, from your fullback, whatever it may be, there's always a pinged pass onto this playmaker, which there isn't always on in Shadow Striker. But you can date the ball on the half turn, do a little bit of dribbling, and then you'll have your deep line playmaker coming forward, your inside forwards cutting in, and your advanced forward making a run in behind, which just gives this player so many options to find. This needs to be one of the best players in your team because you will use them so often. They'll get you a shed ton of assists, but they'll also score goals for you as well. Really good role for this formation. Try Shadow Striker if you want. Obviously, I am a big advocate of it, but in this formation and tactics, I've found that Playmaker works so well. So with your wingers, guys, inside, forward and balance, bread and butter. I run this in most of my formations. I want them unbalanced in this for the attacking prowess, because with the counter build-up style, it does sort of make them run forward a little bit quicker and get into sort of this role here, and then it converts into a bit of a 4-2-1-3. But because they're LM and RM rather than wingers, they help you out a lot more defensively as well. So when you lose the ball, they'll get back into this shape, and it's really difficult to make those quick balls to the wingers, which is what everyone wants to do on FC25. It's all about wing play in a 4-2-1-3. But here, if you look, you've got your fullback that is staying in that line of 4. You've got your CDM here that can easily sort of cover this bit, and your left mid that's running sort of back into this position. Makes it really tricky if they receive the ball with their DMs or CBs to make that quick pass out to the wing. And that's all the 4-2-1-3 is. It's a really good counter for it, and you get such a good control running this formation. But with these players, you want inside forward plus, you want them to be pacey and you want them to be good at dribbling. They need to be able to beat defenders at will. So you'll be running down the byline quite a lot, you'll be making runs in behind, but then when you get the opportunity, they need to be able to shoot, because you will get a lot of scoring opportunities with how this formation's laid out, because the wingers just make that little later run to get in behind. And then finally, guys, the striker. Again, it's bread and butter. Usually in this formation, I used to run advanced forward support, and I still would recommend that if, like I said at the depth part, if you're running this a little bit more controlled Tiki Taka. So if you're running that 50 depth with short passing or balanced, have this guy on advanced forward support, because the passing options will be a lot better. But I think if you're running it how I do with the counter high, advanced forward attack just makes more sense. They'll still come short when needs be and then ping the ball out to the wingers or back to the cam. But then when the opportunity arises, they'll make that incisive run in behind. And the amount of times you'll find this guy free, just because you can tiki-taka it so well among these players, eventually the opponent's going to pull someone out wrong and pull someone out of position. And then this guy becomes free to to score your goals. There's so many meta players in this formation now. I mean, I'm running 95 Marmouche, he's not even the best player here. Probably not even the best player I've got in my team, to be fair, but I just can't drop him. He's a Man City player, and look at those stats. Insane. But Omega, the team of the season's honourable mention, loads of players, CR7 flashback, all will fit really well in this role. Now obviously with me being on the companion app and not being able to log onto the server, I can't show you what it looks like with the ball like I usually would, but I promise you it is very similar to the 4-2-1-3. This guy stays where he is, these two cut inside. You could put these on inside forward attack if you wanted it to be even more attacking, but like I said in the build up, I like these guys to be a little bit defensive as well, so that I am really solid at the back and I can just get that counter play going really well. But yeah guys, that's going to do it for the video. I mean, I can't really show you the code. It is on here, but I don't think my camera will actually zoom in that far, so I'll pop the code in the description down below so that you can give it a try yourselves, and I strongly recommend you do, because honestly the actual build up in this formation is so good. Like, you get so many opportunities with this formation, be just a little bit more solid at the back, and I'd say that's where I think this could prevail over the 4-2-1-3, because it's a lot more solid defensively and the meta seems to be shifting towards counter attack. I think this is going to be better because you'll be so much more impenetrable at the back. And then you've still got the same players in pretty much the similar roles making the runs that the 4-2-1-3 does. I think it's a no-brainer to give this a try, guys. But if you do, pop a comment down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let me know how you get on. But if you enjoyed this video, guys, don't forget to drop it a like. Like I say, I'm terribly sorry that it's on the companion app, but I wanted to get this out to you because I've really enjoyed using this over the last couple of days. I think it'll get you more wins. And if you're new around here and the formation helps you out, or if you just enjoy FC25 content every couple of days when the server's working, then don't forget to subscribe. Anyway, hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye!